Okay, we're recording.
Welcome back, everybody, to
Welcome to Classic Mix-Up.
the classic mix-up. Riley, back here with Rosario,
Yes,
my
sir.
good pal. What is this, episode 4?
Yeah.
Of the classic mix-up. Last week, we did a little bit of a detour on our format, right? That was
Yep.
the
Well, it was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we missed a week, but we're back.
Yeah. So 2 weeks ago, we did a whole bunch of new music releases kind of thing, and we talked about probably 4 albums we did.
Yeah, it was 4 or 5.
So we took a little time to come back with the new format. We're doing 3 albums this week. We're kind of breaking them down, talking about why we picked them, like the first 2 episodes of this podcast. So yeah, this week we had you gave me Hiding Places by Billy Woods.
Mm-hmm.
I gave you a Patrick Sweany album that is probably one of my favorite, and then we also did So Long Forever by Palace.
Yep.
As a together album,
as a mutual decision that we both really like it. So yeah. So I guess we are gonna get started with Hiding Places by Billy Woods, which is the album that I picked for Riley. So Hiding Places by Billy Woods, if you don't know Billy Woods, he's like a underground rapper from New York. He's been rapping for a pretty long time now, probably about a decade or more. He's been kind of releasing music. And then Hiding Places is his album he dropped in 2019. It's a collaboration with Kenny Siegel, who made the beats. And it's a really interesting album. It's very different, very I find it really cool and interesting, and I just picked it for Riley because I feel like there's kind of a lot to talk about between the lyrics, which are super weird and interesting, and then also just the beats and the overall sound are, I don't know, kind of different, and like I said, very cool sounding. So yeah.
I mean, I'll just give a little rundown of what I thought about it. It's such a cool underground record. I listened to most of it before, listening to it all the way through before you gave it to me, because you'd recommended this to me for at least a year, so it's
been one of my favorites for a while, actually.
And I think a good summary of this album is, for those wanting to listen to it, is it's a good definition of underground rap, of not really trap, that's not really mumble rap. It's real underground rap. It's I can't explain it any other way.
It's kind of grimy. Yep.
Yeah.
Very dark.
And Billy Woods is this how do you say it? The stereotypical underground rap voice.
He's mysterious.
Bars. Yes.
Kind of confusing, kind of elusive. There's not many pictures of him actually. He's not in the public. He's super reserved, and I think that kind of adds he has kind of a character about him, and that kind of adds to his music. It has its own kind of thing where it's elusive and underground and not accessible and kind of probably confusing if you're not used to it. I know when I first heard it, because it's super distorted and aggressive, which I think we'll get into a little later, but when I first heard it, I was a little I guess confused. I never heard anything like it, but it's
also it's depressing as shit.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the lyrics are.
It's I went to listen to it today, and I was dude, I can't listen to this today. I'm just not in the I need when I need to be in that headspace. That's a good album for it. If you need to kind of be create a wall around you. This is a good album.
Because
he hear deep shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he talks about some deep, very real shit. Yeah, it's there's many themes throughout this album. So I told Riley I listened to this album. Well, I've listened to it many times, but I mean, just in preparation for this podcast, I listened to it twice. Once I was just kind of run down almost a first listen, even though I've heard it, just kind of taking in everything. And then I really decided to go into the lyrics because I mentioned it earlier, and I'll say it again. The lyrics are really interesting and oftentimes confusing, and it might seem like he's not really saying anything, but I took it upon myself to try to decipher what he's saying. And there's all kinds of different themes kind of going on in this album, but I guess some of the major ones include like living in poverty and just like his life, you know, either currently or in the past. And he also draws a lot of parallels with that to different references. Often, one that's used often is actually like he talks about war a lot and fighting and stuff like that. And he also, that's where I think the name of the album Hiding Places comes from, is like hiding from these things. Like it's kind of hard to describe because the lyrics are kind of up for interpretation, but that's just what I got from it.
Yeah, I like touching on like the many main points of the album. It's like there's a lot of themes. I think like the biggest two that I picked out of all of it was like he kind of talks like in my favorite song, which is Spider Holes.
Okay.
It's I liked the line, I don't want to see Nas with an orchestra at Carnegie Hall. And that, I think that line is like pretty, like one of the main, a pretty big main theme in the album of like, he kind of raps a little bit about like how the rap industry, even the people that have like started from the bottom are now like gone big or have kind of strayed away from like what rap is from and where the people are from and what's really going on and why people rap in the first place, or why like people like Nas rap. Like Nas, we talked about a couple weeks ago with Joey Badass, that like Nas was like one of the first rappers to talk about the streets and stuff like that, and Billy Woods talks about the streets. And I think the other main topic that I can pull was like a lot about the truth of like drug dealing and what goes on with the people,
that life,
the attitudes of the people that use it for their own power, like not even for money or not even for like to get yourself out of a hard situation or get yourself by, but it's the people that abuse that just for like pure power. Like I think one of your top lines was the I've broken bread with rapists and
killers and rapists. Yeah, I mean, obviously, I was going to
rapists.
talk about that later because that just
Oh, my bad then.
No, that's okay. Well, it'll come back later. I'm glad you brought up the thing about rapping kind of about the industry and other rappers and kind of where they're going, because he does that a lot in this album. And I'm glad you picked up on it because it's again, a major theme is a lot of this album is kind of critiquing the industry and kind of throwing shade at other rappers, especially on like a song like the last track, like Red Dust. He does a lot of that. But stay on the topic of Spider Holes, which is your favorite song. This is a big song for, I guess, the symbolism of the album, I think. One lyric I picked out was when he said 4 million USD hovering over some mud huts. It's nuts. It's not the heat, it's the dust. So what that, you know, so if you don't know the phrase, it's not the heat, it's the dust. It's a reference to the war in the Middle East that the US was fighting in the early mid 2000s. That was like a common saying from soldiers was, it's not the heat, it's the dust. So he says that multiple times on the album, actually.
Yeah.
And he says it again in Red Dust. One of the main things in this album is he talks about war, specifically, you know, in the Middle East. And in this line, Billy kind of mentions his opinion on the U.S. military involvement in the Middle East, like saying it's nuts. And then the title of this song, Spider Hole, is a reference to, I looked this up. It's a reference to military slang, meaning like a one-man foxhole, so like a hole dug in the battlefield that people would hide in, which then ties into, like I said, the title of this album, Hiding Places. So a spider hole is a hiding place, and it all kind of just
Well, and I think the use of war analogies are all talking about like the war on drugs and the trade of drugs and the like because you could even take that it's not, it's that it's the dust, like angel dust or coke or anything
Right.
that
Right.
like crack, anything. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that's how I took it too. Is like, yeah, I picked up on
that's
the symbolism,
a whole step further.
The war symbolism and the hiding places and all that, but like that it's the allegory of like the Middle East war is like was used a lot too for the war in like Chirac and the war in New York, like like not war in New York, but like the drug
like quote unquote
like New
war.
York, Chicago, LA, all this kind of stuff. So I mean, and then like things like dust, things like hiding places, things like spider holes can be all things like spider holes can be trap houses, but you know, like
true
places, know. So it's like, but it's like it's supposed to bring light to this topic, or all of these different topics. They could be everything and all of them at the same time, and like, or it could be one or the other. That's what I think is really good about this album too. Is like
it brings in all sorts of things.
Songs, yeah. Every time I listen to the song, it's like it could even be like, I thought Spider Holes was a good reflection on his like Billy Woods' own mental health.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna get into that with the
on the war that's going on. Yeah. So I said I love Spider Holes because it was the saddest song on the album, in my opinion.
Yeah, it kind of is. Yeah.
So later, drawn out, it almost rips you apart as it like it like rips my ears apart as like as it moves through.
Much like the rest of the album, it's very aggressive and dark. And like you said about it being kind of sad, you know, later in the song, Billy says he's alone in the spider hole, which, like we've said, could be symbolic for any sort of thing. It could be literally like in a house or whatever, trap house, or it could be symbolically for, I mean, it's up for interpretation, which is really the great thing about this album. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and he's not, what I love about Billy Woods' symbolism and like lyricism is that he's not going out there like MF Doom or Eminem, and he's not throwing together these insane bars that you have to be like, oh, that led into this. Like,
yeah,
like he has clever rhymes, but he's really storytelling. It's not really
right. It's more the substance, not so much the technical proficiency.
It's not That's That by MF Doom.
Of course, it's not every word's going to rhyme with every word or anything like that. Which that is a great song, but it's not just different.
Yeah, no. That's like that's the rapping. That's like the rhyming song.
That might be like the greatest verse, one of the greatest verses ever, but that's...
You know which verse I'm talking about too, like the...
Yeah, of course. I think we all do. Yeah. If you know the song, That's That. Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I can't even... my list will come out to play if I start doing that, so... But yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know if you want to talk a little bit more on this album, but that's all I really had. It was like all the songs kind of sucked me in to the point where like I just kind of listened in awe, and I was like, man, this guy, like, this is great music. This is like emo rap, but how it's really supposed to be.
Yeah, it's not emo rap like Lil Peep
Cardi.
or like it's
Cardi.
it's more emo rap to where it's like
you can understand.
Yeah, it's less of the emo part of it and more of the rap part of it. The emo is, I guess, more of like I mean, there's not many people who would call this emo rap, obviously, but emo is,
I would say it is
the feeling you get from it because it's just so dark and heavy and mysterious. I mean, he says things like, so on the song, I think it's called "A Day in a Week in a Year." Yeah, he I'll just give you an example of the type of things that are being said in this album. This is one of my favorite verses on the album. It's the last verse of the song. He says, "Life is just 2 quarters in the machine, but either you got it or you don't. That's the thing. I was still hitting the buttons, game over on the screen. Dollar movie theater, dingy foyer, little kid, not a penny to my name, fucking with the joystick, pretending I was really playing." So that now, like, that's like another metaphor. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack, but basically it's a metaphor that likens life to a video game, like an arcade game with coins.
Right.
And he said he didn't have any coins, which now goes back to, like I said, the whole reference of growing up in poverty, right? And also all he could do is fuck with the joystick and pretend he was really playing. So, like, that's kind of saying, like, he can't do anything for real in life. He can just pretend or just kind of live life day by day, not really doing anything or bringing anything. And yeah, that's another one of the major themes of the album. There's plenty more.
You can even take it as you. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, go ahead. I was
done. It as him playing the joystick when he was a kid. Was that he was getting into that world too early?
Okay, yeah, like the game of life.
Before he had coins, he was playing that with the joystick.
He was playing the game, or at least pretending to. Yeah,
right.
There's all kinds of things.
Yeah. I mean, continue. That's all I had.
No. It's just. I mean, I could just go on rants about. I mean, we have other albums to talk about, but I could just keep going.
I would recommend, like, I think, like, a reason why we even do this podcast is, like, not just talk about this stuff, but recommend albums that we all recommend. So if anybody wants to, like, anybody listening wants to listen to that album or listen to, like I would recommend Spiderholes. Just even get into the album because it's a great, like, Spiderholes, because we talked about it so much, you can kind of understand what we're trying to get at. It's a good, like, little, like, taste of the album. So
yeah, I think it's pretty representative. And then I think if you want the best song, like, sonically speaking, my favorite is Red Dust, which also Red Dust goes into a lot about the industry and speaking on other rappers, but it's just a good song. So,
yeah, so those two songs are like a quick save to your Spotify or Apple Music.
Yeah, check them out.
On later.
Check them out.
Yeah, great album though. It
is. Yeah, there's it's
definitely a thinker.
A lot to unpack. Yeah, it's a thinker. There's topics that we didn't even get into of, like, I picked up little bits on religious stuff, race stuff. A lot of references. The song Crawl Space, the first lyric has an MF Doom reference in it. So you can go seek that out. Also, Crawl Space, another hiding place, by the way. So there you go. Roll credits.
For bodies.
Yeah, perhaps.
Maybe drugs.
All kinds of stuff in here. All kinds of lines that will make you think.
You gotta go over your favorite line in the whole album.
Oh, my favorite line
is off of
this one is one I've tweeted about it. It's on Red Dust. I actually, in my notes, I have a screenshot of Genius. Just because I read this Genius annotation because I was really interested in this lyric. I always have been, and I just wanted to get their interpretation of it. So the lyric on Red Dust is, I broke bread with killers and rapists. I got money with people you should not leave with a child for 2 fucking seconds. And every time I hear that, I'm like, wow, that is fucked up. But it's also like, so, I don't even know. It goes so hard. When I hear that shit, I'm like, man, it's so just. But basically, to summarize what the person in Genius was saying and kind of what a lot of this album, it ties into a major theme of the album, is a lot of rappers will pretend that they are tough, been in the streets. They say all these people that they hang out with, killers, rapists, whatever. But I think by Billy Woods saying it like this, he's really saying that he was doing it for real, and he's not flexing about it, because although he's saying it like this, he's not proud of it.
He says it negatively, though.
Like, exactly.
He says it, like, even his tone of voice, he's like almost angry. Like, I mean, his rapping style is aggressive, but this
lyric, he like,
hard. He's like,
it sounds like
you guys don't want to know what the people that I've talked to, the people that I've broken bread with, like the people. It
sounds like he's fed up with the other rappers who are acting like that was them when this was really him. You know what I mean?
I would even say the lifestyle that he had to be. He's upset that he had to be put in that position,
of course,
to be okay with breaking bread with people.
And there's other people who flex about it on their songs, when for him it's like he has to cope with that reality that was the truth, and he's saying,
well, now he's well, now he's like kind of, I would say, relatively more popular, and then even as time goes on, more and more people listen to Billy Woods, he's going to get more and more disconnected from that. So it's like he holds on to that. And I think that's important to take away. Yeah. Well, and I think that's what a lot of underground rap does well, is that it like brings to light a lot of like the bad, like they're these guys that are like in the rap industry. They're not like romanticized like gangbangers or anything. Like, these guys are like, this is shit. Right. This is like, you're going through war. This is why there's all these allegories in this rap. So it's like, it's not like your Snoop Dogg, like he's like the romanticized Crip. You're like, these guys aren't even really saying they're gang affiliated. You like Billy Woods, but he is seeing the worst shit. You know what I mean?
Like, and like I said, he's not flexing it. He's saying like how, he goes on like in another track, for example, Big Fake Laugh. He talks about like how hard his life was, or another a day in a week in a year or whatever. He talks about having to go through these things. While it did make him who he is today, it's something to hold on to and remember, but it's not something to be proud of.
Yeah, well, and I think even like touching back on what I said about like the romanticized like gang wars and stuff, like I don't think that the people themselves that are rapping about all this stuff throughout the years are romanticizing it. It's the people that take in rap and that are like the people in the middle class or upper class.
It's like us, the consumers.
Yeah, well, we try to bring to light like the truth. Like,
we try to respect the culture,
deeper meanings. Yeah, but like, it's kind of like this under, like, especially Billy Woods, like underground rap is like, it brings to light like the dark shit without being sugarcoating, and like, and the allegories are kind of more associated with like war and stuff, and like less encrypted and less romanticized. It's very like
very upfront, very not, like you said, it's not sugarcoated. It's dark, it's aggressive, it's thought-provoking, and it's definitely worth a listen. I tweeted it before, is that there's no rapper, not even my all-time favorites, that can make me go holy shit after a verse like Billy Woods can. I don't know how else to describe that quality, but sometimes I hear a Billy Woods lyric or a Billy Woods verse and I just go, holy shit. Like, that is just, it's so deep, it's thought-provoking, and you can't understand like how he comes up with some of this stuff. So I highly recommend. It's an interesting ride.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. I like that you brought up the how it kind of like does what, like, he's kind of saying to the like most rappers that he is the real deal, but with that, but he's not. He's saying that not in a tawdy way,
right?
Not
in just a reality.
He's saying like you shouldn't be like promoting this shit. Like,
because
like, this is real.
Because Billy Woods is not really trying to sell records with that. Billy Woods is a guy who is not trying to make it big necessarily. He is more about it for the artistry of music. He's not like someone like Lil Durk or Lil Baby who are trying to, make hits by saying these things. He's trying to actually highlight and make real symbolic artistic music about it.
Yeah.
That's my takeaway from it. But yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Great album. Yeah. Hiding Places.
Yeah. Recommend it. Recommend those 2 songs. Just dip your toes into the album if you don't want to see the album. Yeah. So we can move on to the album I give you.
Yeah. Every Hour is a Dollar Gone by Patrick Sweany. Not like anything I've heard before. I'll say that.
Such a good album.
Oh. It's cool. Yeah. It's not my typical type of music, but it made me feel a certain type of way, actually. So
I had to give you a little curveball. Listen, dude.
It was a curveball for sure. You can go ahead and talk about why you gave it to me if you want to start with that.
Oh, dude. So I, unlike Rosario, more rock oriented, even blues. I love blues rock, garage rock.
So correct me if I'm wrong. This is blues, right? Blues rock.
Blues rock. Yeah, I would say more blues, because blues, like old blues, is like
right. That's what I thought it was when you first told me. But this is rock. Yeah. Okay.
This is blues rock. So it's blues inspired rock.
Yeah, I get it. It's
very bluesy. I get it. Yeah. Okay. So Patrick Sweany's become my favorite alive blues artist, next to Joe Bonamassa, who's like, he's a great guitar player, but I think Patrick Sweany's better. Like, I think he's just so good, because like, this album came out in 2007, so it's kind of like when, like, I think of like Fall Out Boy and being popular and all that stuff. So like,
now you're speaking my language a little more.
Yeah. So that stuff was popular at the same time as this album came out.
Right.
Which is, it's 11 songs, 43 minutes, which I think it needs to be longer. It's got to have it like I wish I could. This is an album that I wish was a little like there was another song. Not saying it's bad with how it is, but I want more after I finished listening to it. So I gave it to you. It's one of my top favorite albums of all time. I think I was introduced to it through the song Them Shoes, which is the most popular song on the album.
I was gonna say, I think it's his top song on Spotify. I noticed.
Yes. And I was I think I was going through back in early high school. I was going through suggested artists on Spotify, and it was Patrick Sweany, and it was his most popular song. A lot of memories associated with Them Shoes, bad and good. So I had to give you this album because I know you don't really listen to blues a lot, but it's one of my favorite genres.
It was cool.
So yeah.
Well, first thing I'll say is, there's a deluxe or a disc 2 of this album. Right?
Shut up.
There's a 16-song version that I listened to. There's 5 extra songs. I don't know if you are just finding out for the first time. It might not be on Spotify. It's on Apple Music.
Hold on, I'm gonna find this.
Oh, that's not gonna. Okay, that's not gonna work.
Oh, I don't have it. It's not on Spotify.
It is okay on Apple Music.
Oh, dude. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up.
On Apple Music, there's a 16-song, 1 hour and 2 minute version. So after Mom and Dad, after the last track, there's 5 new songs, and one of them was one of my favorites. And I figured you would have heard it.
Dude, shit.
I figured you would have heard it, but it's called "Blessed Friend of the Guitar," and it's a
my
one.
God, dude. Oh, this is
got to be weird for you.
Isn't that funny that it needs to be longer?
Yeah, and well, guess what? There's 20 more minutes of it that you have not heard.
Okay,
apparently.
So let's talk on the first 10 songs because I know those songs.
Yeah, right. So I guess I'll just give my kind of what you did for Hiding Places, my overall thoughts. Super different from anything I'm used to. My first listen of it, I'm not going to say it was rough, but it was just, not really my style of music, but I was very intrigued by, so we've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't know much about, I don't play any instruments and I don't know much about actual literal music. That's more Riley's department. But I will say I was intrigued and impressed by the guitar playing in this album. I thought it was very good, very impressive. So that kind of made me want to give it another chance, obviously. So I listened to it again a second time. Second time it went through a lot better. I like a lot of these songs, and I think it's more of a feeling album than a substance album, I would say. But the feeling, it's a super atmospheric album. It gives me a good feeling. Some of these songs just. I'll say my favorite probably of the whole thing was Million to Me, which is also kind of like the title track because he says every hour is $1 gone in the chorus. Mm-hmm. But that song gave me kind of I don't know, a Jack Johnson vibe. And I was listening to it on my walk to campus and I was just so peaceful. And this whole album kind of goes up and down between peaceful and a little more, I don't know what the word is, but it gets a little faster at times, a little heavier, a little more the Black Keys sounding type stuff, a little more rocky. And then there's some songs that are more, like I said, give me the Jack Johnson vibe, a little more acoustic. I don't know, impressive instrumental performance here by Patrick. Like I said, I don't know much about guitar, but man, he does a good job on his guitar solos here.
Yeah, no, it's a great album. I'm surprised you didn't pull any I'm surprised you didn't bring up the song Hotel Woman because I think it's pretty lyrically heavy. Yeah,
and there are moments that are lyrically heavy. It's just for me, it's harder to pick them out. I mean, I think for everybody, it's harder to pick them out my first couple times. And I didn't note take on any lyrics from this album. I only did that for Hiding Places.
Okay, so, I mean, that's fair. So I can kind of talk.
Yeah, you can go ahead and I'll say what I picked up and didn't pick up because, I mean, of course I was listening to the lyrics, but.
Yeah, so I I don't know. Like, I don't really have a favorite song off the album because I
you like
love
them all.
every song on this album. So it's
Fair.
like, I think the most lyrically heavy song is probably Hotel Women because, which is the 5th track.
Mhm.
I think it's literally about the Patrick Sweany being on the road and having to resort to prostitutes to find love.
Right.
Because it's like, it's a lot of lyrics are like, it's so hard to sleep without a hotel woman. It's so hard to,
Yep.
It's like, I don't know. It's like,
no, it's kind of I think if I remember the song correctly, he's kind of wrestling with like he knows it's kind of wrong, but also he kind of feels like he shouldn't feel bad because like he says like if I remember correct, I should look at the lyrics. He says like oh God forgive all the hotel women. He's saying like they should be forgiven, I guess, for what they're doing, and I think that's basically saying like he knows that they're just, I guess that's their job or whatever if they're prostitutes, and like they shouldn't be, persecuted for that. But he has like an internal kind of strife where he's like he doesn't like that he's doing this, even though it might be exciting and fun. Like he doesn't like the feeling of it when it's over.
I think a line that kind of like is interesting is like, I think it's like this, still technically in the first section of the song, and it's like, and he says that he's like, I'm here with my old friends and my hotel woman. So it's kind of like, maybe it's like, I saw it as like he like finds his vices within like the like within the freedom of touring, and it kind of goes along with the motif of like touring musicians getting prostitutes and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. And it's just like, it's a good song, and I think what's really good too is that the guitar in this whole album accompanies the singing really well, almost as
Yeah.
if there's another person singing. Like you could hear like the undertones of like, and I think the guitar on this song particularly like fits that role of like, either like the sorrow of like the women that he's talking about, or his own sorrow,
Yeah,
because
like
he's kind
his
of more
internal kind of.
stronger. Yeah, because Patrick Sweeney's more of a stronger singer, but he's kind of, you can hear he's kind of drained in this song, but then he
Right.
has
So
a couple
there's
solos that are very
there.
like
I was gonna say there's two
sad.
solos in this song that come after. The first one comes after, like when you said here with the old friends and the hotel woman, and then the second one comes after saying how like he can't sleep and he loves to see his hotel woman, but then also the last line before the second solo is the cold light of morning, the feelings get hurt. It's like now after the fact, now that it's morning, it's like he's maybe
Oh
regretting it
shit.
and feeling
Yeah.
sorrow. And then the second solo comes in, and how you said that could be like almost as if another person is singing, like another powerful, impressive guitar solo, as they all are. Kind of leaves you to think about, I guess, what just happened.
Yeah, well, and the last line of the song is like, "You can't stay here, man. You gotta go home."
Yeah.
It's like, this is temporary. Like, you gotta get going. You gotta, life goes on, kind of thing. So, great song.
He says there ain't no forever in a hotel woman. So he's recognizing these things. It's just actually getting yourself to do them, to stop doing these things that he's doing. But
yeah.
yeah.
And there's another thing on this album that I wanted to ask you about. Did you like the song that has no lyrics? And Burma Jones. That's one of my favorite songs on the album.
So I will say that one thing you told me before I listened that I kept in mind while listening, and you've kind of almost brought it up, is you told me like think of the guitar as like sometimes there's moments in the song where the guitar is the singing.
Oh yeah.
So for a song like Burma Jones where there's literally no singing and the guitar is the only thing happening, It reminds me of like classical music, like orchestral music. Like you ever watch a silent movie and the music is like describing exactly what happens on screen. This kind of reminds me of that, where the music is so powerful and so like so much going on, and so I don't know what the words are to describe how good he is at playing guitar, but it gives you a feeling that I'm not the biggest instrumental music fan, but it is absolutely achieving the goal of making you feel something and making you feel like you're listening to a complete song. Like some instrumental songs don't feel complete because they don't have lyrics, but when you have a guitar player like this, it is really able to like bring out, I guess, what he's trying to do in the song and make it entertaining and a complete song without having any lyrics.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think what's really cool is that like that his guitar playing isn't super intricate. Like I'm sure like you're not getting anything. You're not getting like a Metallica solo in any, nothing super like Van Halen. You're not, but it's like his guitar playing is more simple, but really technical,
effective,
solid. Like at what it fits well with his singing and the song structure and that kind of thing. And I I think what's really good about this album too is that it's the variety of different guitar playing and different pacing too. Is like starting off with the first song, After a While, it's like slow, but it's like heavy,
Yeah, that song is very heavy. You start off kind of.
Yeah. It's kind of like a chugging. It's like that's more aggressive, and then even From Orange to Pink, like going down the list is like From Orange to Pink, Million to Me. That's kind of slower.
Right.
Like I love From Orange to Pink as a song. It's really fun, which is ironic because like you go from like After a While, which is heavy, like
yeah, it's a sudden shift, but I liked it because I think so. You mentioned From Orange to Pink. You said you found it fun. I think that's a pretty good way to describe it. I found it as just kind of like an upbringing, happier song. I don't really remember what the lyrics exactly were saying, but I do remember him describing like fall weather, like leaves changing, stuff like that. And like I said, I was like walking around outside, and I mean, I don't know what the weather's like for you down there, but it's like super windy and super, leaves on the ground, stuff like it's like full fall weather right here, right now. And I just really enjoyed the song. It made me feel good. Another one of the ones that made me feel good, and I like those ones on this album.
Yeah, I mean, I think the song is really like I take it as a song that's just about like fall coming, kind of, but kind of it's like the fun aspects of fall.
Like yeah, like the good stuff.
Take Mary, I'll take Margaret, but then like it's kind of like I don't know, because it's an upbeat song and then it's like about change, but it also has aspects of change that aren't good. Like he says like times ain't like they used to be. Like
yeah, I'll look at the lyrics real quick.
Other times it hardly matters, made no difference, they're quite the same. I don't know, like he's just like it's a song about change, but it's super upbeat, so it's kind of like a good change at the beginning, but then at the end he's kind of more like sad because like fall is like a changing season. Then he's like,
yeah, it's kind of could be that kind of feeling of like I'm gonna accidentally make a Game of Thrones reference, but it could be that kind of feeling of like winter is coming, where it's like fall is so nice and fun, but that like because of that transition, like something bad is coming. I mean, I like winter, but I mean, like symbolically, like winter is considered tough, harsh dreary times. Yeah, right, dreary. So
well, and I think it's a good, like, you bring that up, and like this being a transitional song, and like winter is coming and all that kind of stuff. But like this song is like a perfect in the middle. It's more melancholic. Like I think it's a really kind of draws parallels with a lot of like Midwest emo feel, where you're like not depressed as fuck, but you're also like it's kind of upbeat, but it's kind of sad. I don't know, I feel
you like don't know. It's like that classic meme of like the pink house and the black house, and it's like this is the beat, this is the lyrics. It's not exactly that, but it's, I don't know. It's a fun vibe of a song, but he's also talking about some abstract concepts.
Yeah, it's a fun album. Like it's
right. Like so, if we're moving on to a different song, I'd like to highlight my second favorite was "Think About It," which was like probably maybe the most upbeat song. Would you say?
Yeah,
I think it's one of them, and he's like saying about these things. He's saying about, like, if I remember correctly, he's saying about like bad things that happened or stressful things that are happening. But then he just starts playing like a happy sounding chorus. And he goes, I try not to think about it. He's like, I don't really care.
Yeah. Well, like the main kind of verse is like the chorus is like, I try not to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
very catchy. I really like this song a lot. Yeah.
Like it's kind of like, but the main verse is about like, it's like about, he's kind of talking about, like he says
in his past life,
okay,
he says everything turned out wrong. He says when he got married, it tears his heart out to think he would do his poor child wrong. And he says it's a shame, it's nobody's fault but mine, it's goddamn crazy, and I think about it all the time. But then he just goes, I try not to think about it in the chorus. And I'm like, I don't know why, it just made me like song. Yeah, it's a like, very what's the word? I need a thesaurus for these classic mix-up episodes, Riley.
Yeah.
I'm not an English major. I do the numbers. Yeah. But it's a very stark contrast. That's a way to put it. He's saying all this bad shit, and then I try not to think about it, and it's very happy and upbeat.
But it's very real. Like, you know,
things
do happen, and people have a lot of guilt on stuff that has happened in their past. Like that, you know, and Patrick Sweany says he's like, I try not to think about it.
That's why, you know, I feel like that's why I might get kind of the Jack Johnson vibe from him, dude. He seems like a dude who, no matter what, all this shit happened in his past, a dude who just like sits on the beach in his hammock and just like writes songs and like shreds the guitar.
This guy
seems like a chill
dude. He lives
dude.
in Nashville.
Okay, that makes sense.
Now, so I mean,
yeah. Seems just like an all-around cool guy, chill vibe, good walk of life. That's the vibe I got from this album. It's how I felt listening to it.
Yeah, no, that's a great example. Like I immediately talked about, I don't know, like I love the song Your Man too.
Yeah, me too.
Like, that's a big like.
That one's kind of sadder.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like I don't know, it's a love that he really can't have, but he's like supply don't meet demand. So it's like it's not meant to be I wish I could be your man. It's like I wish I had it in me, it's hard to understand. I wish I could be your man. Like that kind of stuff. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody needs somebody, and I don't like it at all. So it's like maybe it's a love, like it's kind of like a really ambiguous love in this song. Maybe it's a love that is already taken. Maybe it's a love that is physically not possible. Maybe it's like a distance thing, or it's just not meant to be.
Right. But for whatever reason, it's pretty clear that he can't, you know, go through with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sad stuff. I'm sure it's relatable for
great
a lot
song,
of people.
Though.
But it's a good song.
Great song.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, so
that's about all
I guess to wrap it up.
Yeah.
To wrap it up, great introduction to blues.
It is.
It's a newer, poppier blues album. Patrick Sweany's other albums are more like, I'd say, more traditional. This is his second album, technically, I think, by himself, like on his own
as solo,
like name. Yeah, he tours with his band still, and they made music before this, but this is like his second album under just his name.
Okay.
His first album is good, more bluesy. This album is really good introduction to blues and older stuff.
I'll say one thing as someone who's never listened to any of it is I am more attracted to the songs that are obviously more catchy and have kind of upbeat and good choruses. So, but there are plenty here. So if you are like me and have never listened to any blues or blues rock, I agree. It's probably a good starting point. Not that I have any frame of reference, but I enjoyed it after a couple listens.
Yeah, he's actually coming into town to Michigan in November.
Oh yeah,
so
cool.
I was hoping to go see him. So
yeah, good luck
maybe
with that.
Artist on my bucket list, but yeah, hopefully
Okay,
at that concert.
I'm seeing an artist on my bucket list.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, we can talk about that later if we want. But that was like one of the highlights of my week, though, so we might get to that. But
yeah, it'll be a little. So, but we can on that note, we can transition to the last album.
Yeah, we have a third album.
Probably, I'm really pumped about this album because it's like really hot on my playlist right now. Like,
yeah, it's solid. It's a good piece of music. So our third album of the day is "So Long Forever" by Palace. It's like an indie rock kind of an indie alt rock album by a British band called Palace, and it is like a textbook in like making catchy indie rock music. It's like exactly what I think of when I would think of something that is like something that is an earworm and is very easily listenable and something that I am going to have in my rotation for a long time. I mean, it's done really well, and I have a couple notes about why and how that is, but before we get in too deep with it, do you have any kind of introduction for it? Because this is technically your album, because you kind of discovered this one and showed it to me.
This was an album that I don't even remember how I stumbled upon it. Maybe a song on a random playlist, or maybe it was like a recommended for you kind of thing from Spotify or whatever.
Okay.
But
yeah.
It was the song, I believe, "Live Well" was like the first song that I heard, and which is really good. I think it's their most popular song to date.
I think.
No. I have to bring this all the way back.
Okay.
I found their single from 2014 called "Veins," and it's like reminds me of when I first met my girlfriend. So I got into the band through that song because I'm like, that's when I met her, that kind of thing. So I got into the band after I clicked on their page and that kind of thing, and I got into this album. So anyway, but yeah, it's a really good piece of music. Like
it is.
Yeah.
It's I don't know done. Any of this. It's okay. I don't know how to describe it too technically, but I can try to get into what I like about this album and bring up some examples, and maybe you can agree or
I'll bring up examples too, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I think this album does super well is it is like a masterpiece in song structure. So when I say song structure, I mean like it is like it brings you in, it draws you in, it builds you up, and then it gives you a reward, typically in the chorus. So it's like a clinic. It puts on a clinic in like making music that you want to come back to. So you have like a great combination of like contagious cadences in their singing and build-ups, and then like pair that of course with like the smooth instrumentals. You know, they have some pretty good drum lines in here, some actually really good bass lines. And then
too.
Yeah, of course. I mean, great music here. And then you get up to the chorus, which is usually like a pretty upbeat, rewarding, kind of typical pop rock, alt rock chorus. But yeah, it doesn't really do much in terms of like, there's not really an impressive vocal performance on here. Like this isn't like some like D'Angelo or Frank Ocean vocal performance. But still, I think like
the lead singer is powerful. Like
it's not, the power doesn't come from like necessarily
his
talented singing. Skill. It's just the way that he does it, I guess.
He fits well in the music. Like
he does.
I think like I compared the singer to Hozier a little bit. Hozier is more skilled, I would say, as a singer, but he fits in this music similar to this guy, the lead singer.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Mark Kozelek? He had a band called Sun Kill Moon,
No.
And before that, he was had a band called Red House Painters. I don't know. He's a folk guy, music nerd guy. But
No.
it kind of, so his like style of singing, it's he's like a slowcore folk artist. So his style of singing, it's kind of like stream of consciousness, kind of just like saying things, basically. Like basically no like singing talent, but it's just the delivery, the way that it's done. And this is not necessarily that, but it has the same quality of. It's not like this guy has pipes or anything. He's just a normal
he knows
indie
the
rock
limits of
singer.
his voice, though.
But he the way he, I guess, just delivers the lyrics is infectious and perfect for what the album is.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna highlight a couple songs that are like show the true like artiste of this album is like.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll say Holy Smoke.
Okay.
It's Over. Live Well and Bitter.
Yeah, so I agree with the last three you just said. So 2 through 4, Bitter, Live Well, It's Over. Yeah. Easily the best 3-track run on the album for me. I think they all have qualities of what I was saying earlier with song structure and smooth instrumentals and stuff like that. You mentioned Live Well being their most popular song. I think it's for a good reason. I think Live Well is pretty representative of the album of a whole in the way that it builds up to the chorus in a build-up that really gets you hooked and invested in the song, in the music. And it's emotional, it's catchy, and it's just contagious. And you build up to this chorus, which is, like I already said, super catchy. And it's just a perfect formula for the type of song that makes you want to listen to it again. I think Live Well is probably the best example of that, and that's a good representation of the whole album.
Yeah, no, it's just every song is. I think every song in this album is really catchy. Like
they all are. That's the main appeal of this album, I think.
Yeah, like it's not a bad thing. We're not sitting here saying this is catchy and poppy because it's a bad thing. No, this is really
it's like infectious.
I would say this is pretty niche. Like even like for like the pop alts kind of scene, like it's kind of unique too. It's very like it has influence more from like the Brit pop and like more like British alt bands. You know, like it's more like Blur kind of sound.
I was gonna say it kind of gives me the Blur Oasis vibe, but then like popified.
Right.
Yeah, which is cool. I like that.
Crisper production. It's cleaner. It's almost
it doesn't sound
soul kind of sounding.
Yeah, it has the soul quality of sounding actually polished. It doesn't have the Blur and Oasis quality of sounding crunchy and I guess just old.
But I think the songwriting's kind of similar to that.
Yeah, no, the vibe is the same, but sonically it is more modern and more kind of poppy, which it makes it more accessible, I'd say, to the average rock fan or any music fan, I guess.
It's kind of like a indie soul kind of.
It kind of steps into a bunch of different. It's kind of hard to exactly pin it just because.
But that's why I like it.
It is indie rock, but it's indie rock, but it brings in elements of just like what makes other music genres good. It kind of brings them in together, and it just you come up with this great amalgamation. I think these guys are really talented.
Yeah, no, they're on my list to see. I don't know if they'll ever come into town, but
that'd be cool.
Yeah, like I don't know, just like I think all their choruses are so powerful. Like
their choruses are amazing.
Like my favorite. I don't know, like it's kind of hard to speak on. I guess I'll go through the 4 songs that I kind of
sure.
So I started with Holy Smoke because I think like that's a verse that I sing at the top of my lungs where it's like I've seen holy smoke out the window.
Yeah.
And it's like I think he says like be safe, be
I think I can pull it up, but
I'm gonna pull it up as well.
Yeah.
I was like trying to
he says, farewell, my friend. It's over now. Beware, my friend.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, that's an
you'll rise up through the shadows with a new glow. Farewell, my friend. It's over now.
Yeah.
So like it's almost like he's kind of talking. The singer's kind of talking of like a friend kind of being like lost, and maybe it's like a literal way, like death. It doesn't sound like death. It seems like almost like a breaking of a friendship, and then it's like, but they'll rise again. Like, don't worry, like I see you persevering through this almost.
Like there's hope at the light at the end of the tunnel type of thing.
Yeah, but I think that chorus is like, it's not overstressed either. Like where it's like, I've seen holy smoke out the window, like that's like super powerful. But the singer doesn't overstress his voice. It's still very like peaceful music.
Yep.
Even at
he's not like screaming
intensity.
or anything.
No.
Yeah.
And moving on to a next song is like It's Over. It's like I love the repetition. It's over. It's just so
It's Over is a good example of it's not necessarily his singing ability that makes the song. It's the way he's doing it. So the repetition of the chorus, so you have, so like we've already said it, the singer isn't like anything insane, but the way that he fits on the guitar and especially the bass line throughout this album and on this song is like so perfect. And then you have that, and then you get hit with the chorus with the repetition. It's a hit song for sure.
I think this song's interesting. I don't know if this is intentional, but the like point of view like changes like from the different verses, like where it's like the first verse is kind of like it's talking. The singer is almost talking to another person to say like, I'm talking about other people that love is lost, because literally the first line that's always kind of intrigued me is like, it says it's safe to say their love is over.
Yeah.
I know it's true. I know that life goes on and on. I don't know, like, and then the second after the first like kind of chorusy part, it's eventually they'll both be just fine. But father's wept and my mother's crying. I'm the middleman and my strength is trying.
So you think that's a change in perspective now from the first verse to the second verse?
Well, now it's more like it's almost like in the verse it kind of goes from.
I see that.
Oh, hold on. Maybe no, I don't know, because like I was gonna say is gonna be something about like divorce, because it's like I'm the middleman and my strength is trying, but father's wept and my mother's crying. So he's like talking about, and then they will be just fine. It's over. It's over. But then it's like also like then the next verse though is like taking me back. It's all I need. You are the air that I breathe. I'm the bullet. You are the gun. We are the moon above the sun.
I didn't read into this much. I just thought it was a typical kind of breakup song.
I didn't either until I started reading it, because
I see what you're saying.
I was just confused on the perspective change, and I wanted to like see if you caught it.
Look into that more. I didn't at all, but I was more focused on the bass line in the song and the
it's so
chorus.
Good, dude.
Yeah. And the way he fits on it.
I have no need to be like yelling the it's over so many times in a row. Like I'm doing all right,
but it just works.
This song is like it's over.
Yeah.
So, yeah, good song. I guess it was a little tangent on that one song, but I didn't realize that. Live Well is the next song that I would recommend. It's like so good. It's just a hit song.
It is, yeah.
It's slow, but it's like.
But it's a build up to.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so good.
It is good. It's very good. Another one that's very good is Bitter.
Oh my god, dude! It's just so good.
It's one of those albums where it's kind of just like a banger after banger type album.
It has no skips really in it. Like
right. It's a great one to listen to front to back. It's not too long and it's very catchy. Keeps you intrigued.
Yeah.
As far as Bitter goes, I'll highlight it again. So I watched a short video, actually, of the lead singer and guitarist about his process of making the song Bitter. He had a little interview thing. So what he decided to do is, if you remember the chorus of Bitter, there's no guitar in it. The guitar from the verses is stripped, and it's just bass line. So listening to the song after like hearing him talk about that, like I totally get like why they went that with that choice. Hearing just the singer's raw vocals over just a bass line gives it that super emotional feeling that they're going for. Because it's obviously it's a kind of sadder sounding song, and it's like a breakup song, a typical breakup song, I guess. and then you have that raw emotional vocal over just that bass line for the chorus. It's so like, it's almost reminiscent of a person like screaming in an empty room, like with an echo going on or something. Like it gives me that feeling.
Yeah, I think you can definitely tell the like some songs had more effort, like not in a bad way that
Right, like some were more thought out than others in terms of the structure and the instrumental of the song.
Every song is structurally made well. I think it's naturally just the band knows how to write well.
Yeah, they do.
But I think like Bitter and Live Well have great sayings on them. Like they use a lot of sayings that are like it could be a line from Bitter and a line from Live Well can be ripped out and taken, and like I play the Live Well chorus, which is like live well, you reap what you sow.
Yep.
Future is bright if we can ebb with the flow. Like I think like of that often. Like it's like very like you could live by those words or kind of like have that and like take it literally, like
right, yeah,
use it in your life. Or even Bitter is like, I forgot what line in Bitter. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. It's just like this is, I don't know. Ride high, fake confidence.
I was just reading that one. I was like, I talked over you saying it. Say it again.
Okay, ride high, fake confidence right down to my core. It's dragging up like an airstrike rage. Which that line is so good. Where he's like, it's dragging up like an airstrike rage. Like he builds up that note.
Yep.
And then all under my skin. I want to wear a mask to cover myself in the shape of a grin. Like those three lines right there are each like
so good.
Such good pieces of lyricism. Like they definitely
almost back to the Billy Woods conversation.
Yeah. A great lyricism.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
Dude.
Yeah, and like I already mentioned the chorus of this song, it's very good. The bass is great in this song, and it makes for, I think, one of their more popular songs, I have to imagine.
Yeah,
it's a very, very replayable
it's
song.
Worth it. This is a band that their popular songs are popular, and it's worth it. Like, like, I feel like
there's some artists
try to find hidden songs. They're gonna, like, people try to find hidden songs or like the hidden gems in like albums and stuff.
Right.
But with this band, you listen to their hits because they are deserving.
Right, they're hits for a reason. Yeah,
they're not like a manufactured hit. They're like well written.
Yep, yep. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Have you listened to? They released an album in 2022 and 2019. I haven't gotten to them, but I'm
let's
interested.
See. I'm gonna pull them up. I listened to Shoals.
Okay, yeah, their 2022 album.
It's more electronic, more digital, which is
not
okay.
So
like a couple songs, not. I
think we talked about this before when we were talking about Blade. Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't. I think because the 2016 album is so
good. Yeah.
That the other albums,
it's kind of one of those things where it's like chasing the dragon. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Like it's not their fault. They're writing the song.
Like they're still making good music, but what they did is just
exactly like their first album is amazing. In a lot of bands, it happens to. A lot of bands.
It's a common affliction in the music industry. Like, you strike something so good, it's hard,
especially
to
indie bands,
do it
like
again.
Indie rock bands.
Yeah, a lot of indie rock bands are one. Yeah, they're a lot of one and dones.
Yeah, because it's like they take so much time to put all of their work.
Yeah, like so you look at. I hate to bring it back to this every time, but you look at like something like In the Aeroplane Over the Sea, where that record had like many years of the process of making it. They made it. It's a masterpiece. It's a classic. But like they never made anything again that kind of got up to that standard.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But I mean, I have hope for Palace. I don't think the music that they're putting out is bad.
Yeah, I haven't heard their new stuff. I'm sure. I mean, they're talented. They are talented artists. I mean, they did a great thing with this album, So Long Forever, and I trust that they could do it again.
Yeah,
So yeah.
Well, I think the title is pretty indicative of what a lot of the themes are of the album too. Is like So Long Forever.
Yeah, there's a lot of like breakup and a lot of
I'm
changing seasons and stuff like that. Figuratively, not literally. Yeah. Good album. Recommend.
Great album.
If you're not a like indie or rock type person, like if you were more like me, more rap focused, this might be a good one to try because it's.
Yeah.
I mean, you've heard what we said about it. It's a good listen, fun listen.
Oh yeah, it's good lyricism. It's powerful. It's relatable. It's just good music.
It is.
But yeah. So it's just a good album overall.
I agree. So I think that about wraps it up for our main 3 albums for today.
Yeah.
Had some slappers. Yeah.
You got good stuff this week. I think everything was had good meat in the discussion.
Good some good talking points.
Recommendations. These albums are all recommendations.
Yeah, right. So a big thing about this podcast is we want to expand our music taste and your music taste.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't heard Hiding Places, Every Hour is $1 Gone, or So Long Forever, they're 3 super different albums, by the way, which we didn't have, in past weeks. These are all very different, and they're all very good. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's just I guess it's me and you. Why we discuss music is because we kind of we are open to listening to different music, but we listen to different music.
Right. We have our comfort zones. Yeah. On the daily, I'll be honest, on the daily, I don't listen to anything like Patrick Sweany, but also I did appreciate it, and I'm glad that I got an opportunity to listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Which I don't listen to Billy Woods. I don't like super underground, but I like some Griselda.
Right. And now that's expanded your kind of, yeah.
I mean, but I like Boldy, and I have more appreciation for rappers like Boldy James and Benny the Butcher now that I've been listening to more of the albums. Yeah. So
that's cool,
even
dude.
West Side Gun,
the GOAT.
knowing, the GOAT. He's becoming a meme, dude, on TikTok.
Fly God, 1 of 1, dude. He posted an Instagram caption. First off, he's dropping Hitler Wears Hermes 10, October 28th. He dropped an Instagram caption. He said, "I don't care what anybody say. Fly God is a 1 of 1, and can't nobody fuck with me. What I brought to the culture, I'll give my own self." And then he did a applause emoji. Michelle Records is gonna come, but I got this feeling every year. It's time and energy I can't explain. And the post is that Hitler Wears Hermes 10 is coming October 28th. Good. So yeah, same day that Babytron is dropping.
I love that he has a saga of
Hitler
Wears Hermes.
Yeah,
I love it.
Dude, you know what I should bring up. Blink-182 dropped a single, and Tom DeLonge's back in the band, which is cool.
Horrible single.
Yeah,
Tom's back in the band.
The song was not good, but
it's not a very tasteful song either.
It's not at all.
Really, it's okay. They're trying to be a little too edgy, but it's okay.
No pun intended.
I listened to California by Blink-182 because of that, just to be rip Matt Skiba, he's gonna fade back into.
Yeah, poor guy. I mean, I know he does his own thing. He has his own band, right? I forget what it's called.
Exactly. I don't remember.
Right. So that, but he, I tweeted this. I think you saw it. Tom DeLonge's back in the band, which is cool. I mean, we both love Blink-182.
Matt Skiba saved.
I listened to. Yeah, he did. So I'm saying thank you, Matt Skiba, for your service to one of, if not my favorite bands. But also, I'm glad Tom's back in the band. And I looked at those concert tickets because you and me were talking about going. Perhaps I don't have $300 for Blink-182, so
it's not worth it either. They're 60 years old.
I mean, dude, I just paid $40 for JID Pit.
Yeah,
so I mean,
but it's also at the Masonic.
Yeah, Fillmore.
Yeah. Stand through. We're gonna be able to look at
dude. Me and Riley, March 17th. Come say hi, okay? JID and Smino, Love Is Forever tour. We're going.
Yep, it's gonna
have
be
a good
great.
time. I'm so fucking excited. Great. I love JID. We haven't talked about JID on this podcast really at all.
No, we haven't.
That's like, God, he's my, I think most
the
people
reason why we talk about rap, I think.
Yeah. I think most people listening to the podcast know me personally and know that JID is like one of, if not my favorite artists. Mm-hmm. So to the opportunity to see him live, I'm so thankful. And it's unfortunate that I'm not going to see Blink-182, but
I don't want to see
really
him.
care anymore.
It's not.
Dude, they're touring with Turnstile and Wallows, though. I want to see Wallows.
Yeah, but I just want to see Turnstile and Wallows. But the thing is, they're going to be playing. Turnstile is a hardcore band. They're going to be playing at Little Caesars Arena. You're not going to have people stage diving. You're not going to have people running on stage.
It's going to be kind of hard to like enjoy it properly.
You're not right. Like in Turnstile's good, but I would want to see Turnstile at a hardcore venue where you could see people either. I can personally be in the pit or running on stage, can at least
watch it,
stage diving, or like watching from afar because that's how it's supposed to be heard.
That's true.
And Wallows, I've seen Wallows already. Like they're good, but again, I've seen
Blink-182 already, so
I haven't, but I want to see. I would want to see them for.
Okay, I saw them with Matt Skiba performing
for Enema of the State.
Yeah, I went to the Enema of the State 20th anniversary tour, which was not the same without Tom in the band. I mean, I had a great time at the show, and they are good. They are still good live performers, but it's not the same. So, but that's just. I thought I had to bring up the Blink-182 resurgence. I'll 100% listen to their new album, give it a chance. I mean, their last one was kind of.
No.
I mean, Matt Skiba did a good job with California. We both love California.
California was a great out.
I think my hot take is I think it's actually a top 3 album of theirs.
Mm-hmm. So, I would say too.
I only prefer Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket. After that, I put California. So.
And then I'd put California, then Self-Titled.
Their Self-Titled is not great to me. High highs, but.
But it's not even good. Like honestly, it's just not.
It has Always on it.
Annoying.
It has feeling. Whoa!
I Miss You is annoying.
No, that sounds great. Get out of here. It's a classic. You can't say it sucks.
No, it sucks.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well that's fine. You're
agree to disagree on this one, dude.
I would say.
Where are you? It's an anthem.
I Miss You. I hate it. I just never liked it.
Okay, anyways, it also has Always and Feeling This. Those are great songs.
I like Feeling This. Going to bed right now. Feeling This.
Yeah, that song's great. That song's like reminds me of 7th grade, dude. What a time to be alive.
All right, dude.
He's shaking his head. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can't see the face cams. He's shaking his head at me.
It's fine because I loved California, and California.
I love California too, and that reminds me of 8th grade where I met you.
When we met, and I was drawing. We met, and because I was drawing the California cover.
Do a little classic mix-up lore. We met in art class in 8th grade.
Yeah.
I was drawing. I'm blanking. I don't know what I was drawing. Riley was drawing the California cover by Blink-182, and and then we started talking because I love Blink-182.
Mm-hmm. So, and I did too, and the
rest is history.
Still amazing.
Yeah, it is. I listened to it at work over the summer. Mm-hmm. Holds up. Good record.
It's pretty good. Yeah. Dude, I had something else to talk to you. Oh, I wrote down in my notes. I saw this clip. Have you seen the clip of Alchemist playing music on Instagram Live where he's playing he played an unreleased MF Doom verse over Action Bronson's Fairy?
Dude, no, but I wish I did.
So do you know Fairy by Action Bronson?
No, not really.
One of Action
I might know
Bronson's
if I heard
best. I think it's one of my favorite Action Bronson songs, but it's produced it's produced by Alchemist.
Well, he can do no wrong, so you already know it's good.
No, and so I was gonna say the video, but it was on TikTok, so I didn't really see it. But it was an unreleased Doom verse that he played recently over the Action Bronson verse. So I mean, you could Google it. And
I'm gonna have to check that out, dude. You know what else I saw? Speaking of MF Doom, Madlib posted a picture on his Instagram of like the Doom mask, like against a wall. and he posted the lyrics of like I think it was Bistro off Mad Villain, and people think that he's hinting at like, so Mad Villainy 2 is like a thing, like it has been a thing forever.
Yes.
People think he's hinting at the eventual that could be releasing, and the post has been since deleted. But
I could see that happening, but it's also MF Doom didn't seem like a guy that would associate himself with people that would do like posthumous like.
Right, but also I think Madlib knew him probably better than anyone. I don't think this would be like some sort of cash grab operation. I think Madlib would release the record as it was intended to be released, like as Doom wanted it, as the two of them wanted it before he died. But I'm just always looking for new music. Not that he needs to get milked like X or Juice WRLD, but like.
No, but it's also MF Doom, and like he. Could,
he's the greatest. He like
he's the lyricist. Like, come on. Now.
He's your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. Like, you can't not want more music from the guy. Yeah. Not that he has a huge catalog already, but I mean, I've heard most, if not all of it. So, yeah. I also saw a picture of Claro smoking a cig, which kind of made me.
You're like, dude, I'm gonna start smoking cigs.
Dude, cigs are gross, but Claro's not. I
agree.
Not when it's Claro. Not when it's Claro. Anyways.
It's Claro.
So we know what this podcast is getting entitled. It's going to be blah, 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 and Claro smoking cigs.
No.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
For 30 seconds.
I know. Not even. I'm just thinking about stuff, news and music.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a little bit of a Doom like resurgence and like listening to him.
I love
like,
to hear that, bro.
Not just like being like, oh, like actually, I feel like there was a difference between when I first listened to Doom, it was like, oh my god, this guy's amazing. But then like it kind of had a resurgence a little bit ago when everybody liked him. Well, I guess everybody still likes him because he's kind of like hipster now, like it's kind of like mainstream now.
Right.
But like I like back in early high school, I loved him. Kind of didn't really listen to him past that. Like listened to him for a year or two and then stopped. And then when you and our buddy Will, who is supposed to be our honorary third member,
he'll be here one day.
Yeah, he got into Doom, I think because of us, and so we all listened to Doom for a little bit.
Yeah, when we were hanging out that one day in the summer.
We were all, and then he started listening to Doom a lot, and then I got back into it, but now I'm getting into it again because I've like Rap Snitch Knishes stuck in my head, and Mr. Fantastic
legendary
stuck
song,
in my head.
Dude, yeah.
Curls off of Mad Villainy is like stuck in my head too. Like I don't know.
Dude, guys, listen to MF Doom. We should do Mad Villainy on here. I know we've both heard it and love it, but like
we'll do it.
We need to give our. Maybe we'll talk about this later. The wheels are turning. I mean, we need to talk about. Yeah. But yeah.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Yeah, it is. But
anything else? Do you listen to anything new? Or?
I mean, I just nothing really notable. Some 2022 releases. My boy put me on to this album called Pepper by a guy called Suggs. It's like a super loud, crazy rock rap album.
That's cool.
Yeah, if you know like Paris, Texas, it reminds me of them. It's like I said, it's rap, but it's rock elements and it's very loud and in your face, super eccentric. It's pretty cool. That was one thing that I noted to talk about on the podcast, just to mention that I found and enjoyed. Yeah. Other than that, not really. I've been busy. We had to cancel last week because our schedule.
Yeah, I know you've been busy, but
yeah, no, but I mean, listening to my normal stuff. As far as first listens, just little things here and there.
I feel like I never listened to normal stuff.
Yeah,
I'm never like I'm always.
You're quirky like that.
No. I don't even mean like my normal stuff isn't normal.
Yeah, right.
But I don't
you go out of your comfort zone a lot. Yeah.
Well, because like whenever we talk, not even off of the podcast,
right?
I always have something like, oh, I've been listening to this, or like I'm
right. You always have an answer to the question. For me, it's like,
yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you like listening to me run through what I've been listening to, but
dude, I don't care. I don't.
Do you know the Motor City 5?
What's that?
Do So I used to be in a proto-punk.
Okay.
So like pre-punk rock, which is Iggy Pop from Detroit, and the Motor City Five, which they're proto-punk. They're like Motor City Five is interesting because they were like the White Panthers. Like I think the lead singer or like the manager or something, he was part of the White Panther Party, which is like the like Black Panthers, but like White Panthers being like stand up for like the injustices and stuff like that. So the Motor City 5 is like proto-punk. It's really sloppy and random, but it's so good. And they're from Detroit, so it's like pretty cool.
Yeah, shout out Detroit. Shout out Detroit artists.
Always gotta
be listening to my Detroit artists.
Yeah. I've been kind of sucked into the Elliott Smith trend. You know, Elliott Smith.
Oh, dude, I love Elliott Smith. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, my girlfriend loves Elliott Smith, and I kind of.
Me and your girlfriend are we have the same kind of music taste.
Yeah, I know. So it's I hear it from two different. I hear it from
you're like you hear it from her. You're like, oh, is it good? And you hear it from me. You're like, oh, I can trust it, right?
No, it's neither. Okay, I'm not saying I trust you over her. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Under the bus. I'm just kidding.
No, I get it. I'm just saying, like, when I hear it from two people that I trust their music taste,
then you can trust it.
I'm gonna be like, okay. Like the album, okay, I don't like early Elliott Smith. I think it's boring and weird. I don't get it. Okay. That's a hot take. I'm so not.
You don't like his self-titled or
no. Oh, I don't get it. Maybe eventually. It's just too depressing. I can't. It's singing.
It's like
but I love Figure Eight. I think that's one of his most popular albums, right? It's his last album, right? Before he died or something.
Yeah, it was. I haven't listened to it, but I know it was. After he was kind of like, it's a different sound, right? Because it's after, like you said,
it's a rock
early stuff.
Okay,
yeah, it is. It's not like
I've taken time. I need my brownie points. I've taken my time and I've listened to every single Elliott Smith album.
Okay, so you've done more than me actually, because I haven't heard this.
Yeah. Okay, so that. Okay, I'm gonna lecture you a bit. So
lecture me a bit. Yeah, I like either or.
His second album has like his most popular song.
Yeah,
and then like or.
That's my favorite.
And then the next one has the Songs of Adeline or something like that, which is one of my favorite. Oh, okay. I need
to check it out. Then
I'm gonna pull it up.
So his early stuff is more like slowcore folk stuff, very folky.
Oh, very
acoustic.
I don't mean to say he's very whiny, and
that's just kind of his voice, I think.
Yeah, but that's just his singing. But
yeah, I mean,
his later stuff.
Personally, I like either or a lot.
Yeah.
So, but I'm gonna listen to the other one that you said, the Figure Eight. I'm gonna listen to
Figure Eight. I'd recommend the songs "Son of Sam," which starts the album, and "L.A.," which I think is one of his more popular songs.
Okay. Yeah.
What else? But that whole album's good. It's
like I said, I'm familiar with it, but guitar. I haven't heard it all.
EXO. I like EXO, which is after either or, because I like the song "Sweet Adeline." Or Adeline, I don't know how he pronounces it, but other than that, not my thing, but I like music, so I can listen to a good song.
Yeah, I mean, that's how I feel when I listen to certain things.
Yeah. What else? Dude, I've been listening to so much, like Pine Grove, the album Cardinal, great album.
What genre? I don't know any of these people, obviously.
It's like more Elliott Smith kind of stuff, but
sick. Might have to check it out.
There's a song that it's Old Friends is how I was introduced to it, and it's stuck in my head right now. So I've like kind of listened to the whole album, and then now I'm into the whole album. More Turnstile, for early Turnstile I got into.
Yeah.
In Rainbows by Radiohead. Great album.
Yeah. Of course.
I listen to that a lot.
Classic.
Tell Me I'm Pretty by Cage the Elephant, which is like their second to last album or 30 albums ago. I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm a pretty big Cage the Elephant fan.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard a full album, which we talked about earlier off the podcast. We talked about, but I enjoy their music that I've heard, and I think I would. I mean, you said you think I would like them. I think I would like them. So,
yeah, and so. Dude, just I could go on for a while, but
I'm sure you could
podcast for 3 hours,
Dude, I mean, if the people want to click off, they can click off. I mean,
Dude, a lot of, I don't know. Axe and the Hatchet Men, that's a big recommendation to even people listening. Axe and the Hatchet Men.
Okay.
They're very like, they have like a saxophone in there, but it's like kind of not ska. It's not like ska like saxophone.
Okay.
It's like Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Okay,
it's
that's
very
all I need to
indie
hear.
rock.
Yeah.
I've
heard of them.
But like, they're a smaller band, I would say. They have 300,000 monthly listeners, but when I started listening to them, it was like 10,000.
Wow.
So, but like, I've been listening to them a lot. Very fun and happy music, just to like walk to class and like.
That's
be
cool.
depressed that I'm going to class.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out because it's
fun.
No, that's what you just described is like a feeling I have every single day, and I know the type of music that you play during that. So
yeah.
Wilco.
Listen to a lot of Wilco.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of, it's like indie, a little bit of Wilco. I'm guessing.
Yeah, I do. I've been meaning to listen to all of Yankee Hotel Foxtrot. I haven't gotten to it, but it's on the list.
Modern
baseball.
He's mixed up. Modern baseball and American football.
Modern
baseball.
Yeah,
I never listened to modern baseball. But wait, no, American baseball. Fuck, I don't know.
No. Modern baseball. Thanks. American football.
Yeah, American football is the classic. Modern baseball is the new.
Is the Midwest emo. Yeah.
Love the baseball stuff.
The baseball.
Don't know what modern baseball.
The American football one is like an alt rock classic.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I mixed them up, but I mean the baseball one.
I know you mixed them up.
Because American football was middle school. That was like reminds me.
You're right. Yeah. Modern baseball is.
Modern baseball is too new for that. I think their first album came out when we were in middle school.
Right. So modern baseball is like the Midwest emo. Yeah.
Which is good. It's pretty good, but at the same time, I still like my White Stripes and Black Keys and listening to a lot of early Black Keys, like Thick Freakness. That whole album is disgustingly good, and so is Magic Potion. So is Rubber Factory. I recommend all early Black Keys.
Yeah, Magic Potion's pretty great. We talked about
that was the Lost album.
Yeah,
that was Lost.
Yeah, the Lost episode we talked about Magic Potion. It's a good one though.
Yeah, great. We'll have to touch upon it because it's a pretty good.
Yeah, we'll have to redux that episode because disgusting. I could talk about pure heroin forever.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Speaking of episodes, do we want to talk about next week's episode for a hot second before we sign off?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah. So next episode, episode 5, we're gonna do the same format as we usually do. The album that I'm picking for Riley is one of my favorites of all time, and probably a lot of people's favorite of all time, "Blonde" by Frank Ocean. It's an essential, so Riley's got to hear it.
Yeah. Oh, solo reprise is one of my favorite.
Oh yeah.
3000 verses.
Oh, he absolutely murders it, dude.
And then I'm gonna give you "Tell Me I'm Pretty" by Cage the Elephant. I think I decided when I said because I've been listening to that. Do you want to do a third album, or are we just gonna stick to 2?
I feel like
do a third. We can do Matt Villainy.
I was gonna say I feel like we could do a third if it's not something that we want to like get super deep into.
Oh,
or we can try to keep the episode short. We're sitting at an hour 28 right now for reference.
Dude, that's tough because I don't think I could talk about "Tell Me I'm Pretty" by Cage the Elephant for longer than 20 minutes.
Yeah,
but Blonde we're gonna talk about a lot.
I mean, I could get really into Blonde. I could. I mean, you want me to listen to Yankee Hotel Foxtrot? Because I was gonna do that anyways. The Wilco album. Do we want to just
third album? We can do that as the third album.
That's what I was saying. Maybe, okay.
Yeah, let's do that as the third one. So
okay. Well, there you have it.
I like the 3 format, so we can kind of both talk upon an album that is good.
Yeah, and that way we don't have to like rehash too much. We can just kind of quickly go through them all and hopefully keep it under an hour and a half or not. We don't really care.
Yeah,
I know some people care. If you want to listen to us, listen to us. If you don't, we don't care. So
yeah, it's a podcast. Come on.
It's a podcast, dude. Listen to it while you're fucking driving up north or something.
Or you can watch 30 minutes at a time.
Yeah, listen to 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, there's no rush.
We don't care. Fun. Don't listen to it at all. We don't care. We don't talk much, so we gotta talk sometimes. So, anyways, I think that's gonna be about all for episode 4. Another great episode of Classic Mix Up.
Yes,
follow us. Follow us so you don't miss updates. I'm gonna link our Twitter and Instagram and all that down.
Follow us at Classic Mix Up Pod on Instagram and
Twitter,
YouTube, Twitter.
Subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on Spotify. Yeah, Apple Podcasts.
Apple, yes. Spotify.
Amazon Podcast.
Podcast.
Wherever you get. I mean, you probably use Spotify.
Wherever you listen to podcasts.
Listen to us where you do
Listen to us. And watch our YouTube videos because
watch our YouTube videos if you want to see our face. Yeah.
And
Riley made me turn my face cam on. I talk with my hands because I'm a paisan, so you can see that. You can see me do all these things, you know. I once caught a fish. It was this big. There you go. Now you have to watch the YouTube video to see how big the fish was.
How many fingers do I hold up, Rosario?
You'll never know until you watch the video.
Okay. There you go. So, I mean, that's just a little incentive, watch our YouTube video.
Yeah, and subscribe and like and comment and engage. Share it. Tell your friends. Listen to the music. And have a blessed week.
Yeah. See you guys. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.
See you next week.